One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Monday morning. It is 11/24/2025, man. Much love, honor, respect. We got the cat with us this morning. Let's go. All right, so as you guys can see on the title here, welcome back, by the way. Welcome back. I don't want to go right into it like that without saying hi to everybody. But, hey, listen, we got Ukraine peace talk updates on that. There was some falling out that happened out I think yesterday there was a big fallout, but we have it all ready for you guys nonetheless. Bondi on Memphis crime crackdown. That's what she's supposed to be doing sometime today. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to report on that exact story. And I labeled it at and more because there was a lot of shit that happened over the weekend, and I didn't even go back more than a day. There was a lot of shit that went on this weekend. So let's go ahead and give you guys the rundown real quick of what's happening. Port of LA, over where I used to work. Cargo ship fire. Crew evacuated after explosion. Man, that's going to be brutal. Anytime ships get down. Listen, when there's a fire on a ship, man, there's nothing more fucked than a fire on a ship. You know, sinking sucks too, but fire on a ship is, I would say, worse. Anyways, we got 4 shot during North Carolina Christmas tree lighting event yesterday. Terrible thing that is a development that's happening. And, of course, all of these stories we're going to be following along throughout the week, of course, as well. Trump questioned about MTG, Russia, Ukraine war, and more. As you guys know, MTG is not going to be running again for this. I think she actually quit, like, right there on the spot. You know what I mean? So that's definitely interesting. We got Israel strikes Gaza amid ceasefire agreement. Very interesting because I also know Israel just attacked some of the Hezbollah members up there, was going for some sort of like the head of Hezbollah or whatever up there in Lebanon. So there's 2 things going on here, and they're reporting on Israel strikes Gaza amid ceasefire agreement. But so far I haven't seen anything about the Houthis on the mainstream, or not the Houthis, Hezbollah. Fuck. Anyways, U.S. to begin new phase of actions against Venezuela. Now, we've been bombing the fuck out of their little banana boats, you know, cigarette boats or whatever they're called. And I'm not really sure what new phase of actions are going to be taken against Venezuela when we've been doing that lately. I don't know. Maybe there's an update to it. Nonetheless, there's a report that came out from the UK. UK woman paid Florida man to torture and kill her. What? You got paid for a Florida man to torture you and then kill you? I don't understand.
Stupid.
I don't get it. Anyways, moving on. Housing affordability, a hot button issue heading into next year. As you guys know, that is a humongous problem, especially alongside the coast. Man, I can tell you, like New England, the tri-state area, all that it's just good luck getting housing. We got, the West Coast. It's just all the way around not good, man. People don't have the money to buy these houses that are very nice. They may be $400,000 or $500,000 in real value, but meanwhile they're being appraised for like $1.1 million, and then no one wants to move in. You try to sell your house, it takes you over a year to sell your damn house. Good luck with that. I trust me. We sold our property in California, right there on the beach, essentially. Very expensive house, but guess what? It took damn near a year. Anyways, Trump calls Ukraine ungrateful amid peace talks. That's the part that I was talking to you guys about, that there was some sort of development that happened in regards to Ukraine. Trump calls Ukraine ungrateful amid these peace talks. That's going to be also interesting. Now, there's a new development happening. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the man, Slender Man. The Slender Man is, I can't remember how long ago this guy was originally convicted, in like 2014 or something like that. But anyways, this guy's been, on a manhunt for a long time. Nonetheless, they found the guy. The Slender Man stabber captured following the manhunt. So we got that as well. And last but not least, Times Square, New York Eve, or NYE ball, New Year's Eve. I didn't mean to say New York. New Year's Eve ball unveiled for 2026 celebration. I really don't give a fuck about no ball dropping and all that bullshit. Listen, my last name's Ball and I don't give a fuck. But anyways, it's in the news, and we're going to be talking about it today. Anyways, real quick before we get all into it, man, we got to do our call to actions. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. You know what else is free? Is hitting that subscribe button if you guys are brand new here, man. But please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep these lights on as well as be on these airwaves, man. So thank you guys for becoming members and then staying members, man, honestly. A little side note here, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking stories, all that kind of shit. We love breaking news over there as well, but it's a great way to get a hold of me personally. And we also have a Discord server. Make sure you guys join up on that. Maybe Naomi will throw the link into the chat for you guys, or one of the mods. We also have that description, or that link in the description down below of every single video that we do. So make sure you guys get into the Discord. We got the majority of you guys. We got only 1 or 2% missing. So we got to get you guys in there, man. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to, and I'll read it out loud like a super chat. I've got my emails up, so if anything comes through, of course, I will shout you out, and we are ready to go. Anyways, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves so far. Definitely know that we are. We got Naomi in the building. Shout out to you. We got Hardwire as well, my man. Good to see you. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well. Good morning, good morning. We got Roger, my man. Always appreciate you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. Steve Posey and Random Account. Good to see you guys. Good morning, good morning. We are scrolling our way down. We got Prez in the building as well as Sick Bastard. Thank you for the raid, by the way, this morning, right before I started the show, man. I very much appreciate you sending you and your viewers over here, man. So thank you for that. Let's see. We got Gary. We got Prez. We got, I don't know how to say, is it Anna Rosas? But great to see you in the chat, Anna. Appreciate that. Let's see. And yes, I am a millennial. I am a millennial. That is a fact. I was born in 95. So I'm only 2 years off from being a Gen X, actually. So, but I'm still a millennial. Such a beautiful day here in North Carolina. Life is good. 100% yes, sir. Great to hear that, by the way. It's been phenomenal here for the last few days. It's actually been quite warm, actually. It got up to like 80, 86 or 87 like that yesterday. It was fucking hot a little bit. All right, we got Tiffany in the building as well. Good morning to you. We got Miss Lotus as well. Great to see you guys in the chat. We got Papa Penguin, my man, saying Gen Z is acting exactly like they've been training to act, expecting a generation who was told men can be women and something is ending the world every other day. Of course, they're angry and confused. No doubt, bro. No doubt. Good point. Great to see you in the chat as well, man. Sick Bastard, much love, honor, respect. Yes, sir. We got Mind Bear. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Let's see. We got Insane Throttle Biker News saying, hey, Ugly. Great to see you in the chat, man. Good morning. Shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get right into the madness this morning. We are starting off with Port of LA, cargo ship fire, crew evacuated after explosion. Listen, man, there's nothing much more scary than when a ship is, on fire. Okay, so this is the old harbor I used to work in. So it's kind of near and dear to my heart. So I'll probably feel bad for the situation because I used to work this shit nonstop.
Welcome back to Live Now from
Let's
Fox.
see.
I'm Shauna Kalafi. Let's go right out to that breaking news situation in LA. A cargo ship fire sparking tonight, and
Well, at least it's alongside the dock. But what started that?
learned that some of the crew members on board still have not been safely removed from the ship. We have an update from the Los Angeles Fire Department. This was in the last 30 minutes. They said at 7:58 p.m. an explosion was noted mid-deck that affected power, including lights and crane operations on the ship. No injuries reported. 15 of the 23 crew members on board have been safely removed from the ship, while 2 are confirmed still on board. 6 are currently unaccounted for. The LAFD says progress.
So 6 people are either hiding somewhere or they're unalived, sadly.
On fire containment.
But I'm pretty sure they had to have gotten off. There's no way. I mean, this is not where it's totally engulfed in flames, but the inside of their bridge, I guarantee you, is pretty fucked up. I can guarantee down in the engine room, wherever the fuck this fire happened, it's definitely, I mean, you can see the amount of smoke coming off of it. It is billowing. So it looks like it's trapped inside.
Is slow, but the ship's height in the water is being monitored and has been
What's up, brother Blair? Good morning.
noted stable. Now, they also said that the fire was seen outside the ship in several container bays. They say it appears there are several containers on that container ship that
Oh, it
caught
is?
fire.
Oh, okay. So there's some stuff. There's called I forget what they call the exact deck housing for like little pumps and stuff like that, which can be up here. I'm not really sure if they have any of that up here. This is the bow of the ship, meaning the front of the ship, right? And the bridge usually is all the way in the very, very back, which you can't see in this shot. It's way back here. Anyways, so it looks like it's billowing out of cargo containers. And actually, believe it or not, I'd rather that than something happening with the actual engine itself or somewhere in the housing space of the ship or anything near the rear end, because that's where most of your, power is, obviously, and all that shit. So very interesting to say the least, though. I wonder what caused this.
They also said that hazardous materials have been identified in those involved bays, and all LAFD members are taking precautions for that hazardous material. Again, 6 crew still unaccounted for, and 2.
They just got off the motherfucker, I guarantee you. They're like, I'm off this bitch. They're like running it over into the, somewhere over here. I can guarantee you they ran off onto the dock somewhere.
Have been confirmed still on the ship. That was
What's up, brown
according
chicken?
to LAFD's latest update about 30 minutes ago. We will continue to monitor this story out of LA, the port of LA, there where that fire is happening.
Oh, yeah. If it's below deck, bro, good luck. Good luck for damn sure. Brutal. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on into the next story, though, here. That finished that little conclusion. It was a breaking news story, and I hope that there's some sort of explanation of what exploded or what caused the because they called it explosion, so I'm guessing there was some sort of chemical reaction or something like that with whatever was inside the container, and I want to know what the fuck was inside the container. Anyways, we're moving on. 4 shot during North Carolina Christmas tree lighting event. This happened yesterday. Let's go and bring this up. We're going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit, and let's bring it up and do it.
This is out of, again, Concord, North Carolina, as 4
Concord, North Carolina.
people were shot last night at a Christmas
So, hold on. It wasn't last night. It was the night before. Okay, so this must be Saturday night is when the event happened.
tree lighting ceremony. That's according to officials
Oh, it says Friday night. Okay, it says Friday night up here. Okay.
there. 3 people we're told were in critical condition and 1 in stable condition following the shooting. And this location is about 19 miles northeast of Charlotte, according to a statement from the city. It wasn't immediately clear what led up to that shooting, and police say they are reviewing video footage of the event and speaking with witnesses. They've asked anyone with videos or photos to share them with police right away. Videos and photos posted online do show crowds of people fleeing along with a street lined with emergency vehicles. The event was advertised as the city's 28th annual tree lighting ceremony.
So it's on a 28th annual tree lighting ceremony, and these motherfuckers got to have a shootout in the middle of this shit. God, bunch of dummies.
Ceremony and was expected to feature Santa
What's
and
up, Crystal?
Mrs. Claus,
Good
food
morning.
trucks, the film The Grinch, and fireworks. Quote, "We are praying for the safety of our brave law enforcement officers, first responders, and everyone on the scene." That is Representative Mark
Not surprised, Steve Easy.
Harris of North Carolina, who posted that on social media. We are also hearing from witnesses courtesy WJZY.
All of a sudden, there were 3 pops. And in my mind, I'm like,
There were 3 pops.
Fireworks don't start until later. And then I saw like just a sea of people.
Yeah, right. Like as if you thought these motherfucking pops were fireworks. When it's a firework, sometimes people are like, was that a gunshot? Was that, blah, 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 because it's super far away. But when you hear a gunshot, everyone's like, oh, that was a gunshot. Those are multiple gunshots.
People running. And I'm like, no.
This has never happened before. So it definitely
It's never happened before. We've never experienced. It happens every day. It happens every day. I hate when my camera lags out like this. Once in a while, I'm not really sure why, but sometimes it gets stuck and then it's like showing me a second later. So my mouth is not matched up with the video. I hate that shit. But anyways, he's like, we've never had to deal with this kind of shit. What are you talking about? You were just out and about and happened to see it. It happens all the time, though.
was a
Yeah.
big surprise.
And
And it's unfortunate.
kids.
It's unfortunate because there were so many kids right there. Like we were standing right there.
Mm-hmm.
We heard the pops, and there was a kid laying in the street, bloody, and it's not.
It's a sad reality. It's a sad reality, truly. Let's see. I did see something here. What did I see? Santa needs a vest. Yeah, that dude. That is funny. Absolutely. At this point, bro, everyone can get the smoke, huh? Shit.
I'm not worried about myself. I'm just worried about the kids that had to see that.
And of course, this is a developing situation, so very limited information.
Extra surprise.
Again, 3 people believed to be listed in critical condition. Another person shot as well. We are working to get an update here from officials. But for the first time here, I do want to play this very brief statement that was made by police as all of this was developing. It's only about 2 minutes in length, but they kind of go over what we know so far and what is still left to figure out.
Our annual tree lighting event is one of our most cherished and celebrated events in downtown Concord.
Yeah, I mean, what did they say? It's like their 28th one. I forget what number I said originally. But yeah, it seems like something that is cherished by the community. If you've done it that many fucking years, then yeah, people are involved, dude.
That sense of safety was shattered tonight by senseless gunfire. First
Well, what kind of gunfire? Was it fucking gang violence? What was it?
and foremost, our thoughts are with those injured, their families, and those who witnessed the senseless act. No one should have to go through an experience like this.
That's true. No one should have to go through it. True. But these are sad realities of society. And I hate to be that cynical. This is why an armed society is a polite society. I mean, some shit goes off like that around me, it's going to be handled. You know what I mean? That guy that's the aggressor trying to take out people, yeah, he's going to be taken out.
So here's what I can tell you at this time. The Concord Police Department is actively investigating the shooting that occurred at around 7:30 p.m. on Union Street near the intersection of Corbin Avenue. The shooting occurred during the city's annual tree lighting ceremony. The Concord Police Department, Concord Fire, Cabarrus County EMS personnel were already at the event, and they responded immediately. They provided medical and evacuated the attendees.
Brutal. So are they not going to explain that what kind of gunfire this was?
4 gunshot wound victims were transported to the hospital. There are 3 in critical condition.
Damn, 3 are in critical.
And 1 who is in stable condition.
Wow. Damn.
Police are reviewing the footage from the event, speaking with multiple witnesses at this time. Anyone with information is asked to call the Concord Police Department at 704-920-5027. And anyone with video or photos from the event.
So now he's going to he's going to the public. If anyone has any videos or any of that, send that us to our, that's what they usually do when they need more information, they go to the public, obviously. And that's what he's doing right there. We're going to move on though, because we have quite a lineup this morning and we have to get through it. Trump questioned about MTG, Russia-Ukraine war, and more. Now, I believe this happened on Saturday morning. I think. I could be wrong, though. This could have been Friday afternoonish. It could have been. But nonetheless, we're going to play this here in a minute because we also have an update regarding Ukraine. Trump calls Ukraine ungrateful amid peace talks. They're all ungrateful, Trump. Just so you know, they're all ungrateful. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll go ahead and talk about MTG for a small bit and Russia-Ukraine. Mr. President, let him walk up there first before you're Mr. President. Man, tell me they fixed the audio. If they don't, I'm going to be really pissed. Oh my God. For real?
I know that before you had a fight with Elon Musk, you guys were able to work it out. No, I get along with everybody.
There we go. I can at least cheer him on this.
Same thing happening between you and Sure, why not? I mean, I get along with everybody.
Is this your final offer to Ukraine?
No, not my part.
He said, she said, is that your final offer to Ukraine? And he said, no, that's not my final offer.
I would like to get the peace. It should have happened a long time ago.
We all agree on that, Trump.
The Ukraine war with Russia should have never happened. If I were president, it never would have happened. We're trying to get it ended. One way or the other, we have to get it ended. So then he can continue to fight his little heart out.
Then he can continue to fight his little heart out. Damn shit.
Bruh.
Do you have any comment about Bolsonaro's arrest? Former Brazilian president. So I spoke last night to the gentleman you just referred to, and we're going to be meeting, I believe, in the very near future. Sir, are you willing about the president being arrested today? What? Any comment about the former Brazilian president being arrested today? No, I don't know anything about it. Are you willing? Mr. President, are you willing? I didn't hear. Is that what happened? Yes, there's a second. That's too bad.
I'm not going to be able to listen to this with this amount of fucking, where we can hear the jets of, I don't know if it's the helicopter we're hearing here, or it's because I don't know if they have the plane out too right here, or is this only where we hear the helicopter? I don't know. Whatever. It's too damn loud though, man. Get better fucking microphones. As the mainstream media, it just blows my mind. You guys have unlimited funding, and you can't get decent microphones to like drown out all the bullshit. I mean, it's loud when you're recording these people, and you got some $100 microphone that ain't worth a shit. Dude, this microphone right here is like $400. How come I got a better microphone than you do? That's not good. Yeah, crazy. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Israel strikes Gaza amid ceasefire agreement. As you guys heard me say earlier at the top of this, Israel has actually attacked not only Gaza amid the ceasefire agreement, but they have also attacked Hezbollah during their ceasefire agreement with Lebanon. Now, understand that the ceasefire agreement with Lebanon is with Lebanon and Lebanon's government, not Hezbollah. Hezbollah does not run Lebanon up there. So anyways, there's that happening, but unfortunately, they're only reporting the strikes in Gaza, not reporting on the main guy that they're trying to go for up there in Hezbollah. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll talk about it.
All right, welcome back and Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Let's cover the Gaza war. Today, the IDF launching airstrikes against Hamas militants in Gaza. This brings the latest test of the ceasefire beginning back on October 10th. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office saying that 5 senior Hamas members were killed. Health officials in Gaza, meanwhile, reporting at least 24 people killed and another 54 wounded, including children. Hal Kempfer is here. He's a retired Marine intelligence officer, national security analyst, and the host of the Strat podcast. Hal, given the number of high-profile killings of Hamas leaders over the past 2 years, it might be easy for people to assume that Hamas's top ranks have been wiped out. But 5 senior members were killed in this strike. So is it possible to estimate how much of Hamas...
Damn, so hold on. It says breaking, at least 24 people were dead and 54 wounded after Israeli airstrikes in Gaza, testing the ceasefire that began in October, officials say. Damn. Wow.
How much of Hamas still stands to this day?
That's a lot.
You know, the problem with that, Austin, is they regenerate. And once you wipe out a senior leadership thing, they'll put another leadership figure in there. But this
and he's right. Hal is exactly right with that. And when they hear that there's a collective like, hey, we're going to rebuild, we've got our new cabinet, we're going to go out and get ready for this kind of shit, you know. Unfortunately, those are the kind of situations Israel is truly up against, and that is true, but they definitely take it a whole different level of quote-unquote defending themselves, for damn sure.
is absolutely key to slowing them down. We saw what happened with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, that the strikes, particularly taking out Nasrallah, the head of Hezbollah, really, disoriented, disrupted their command and control, their decision-making across the board, and there have been a series of senior leaders taken out. So in doing that, and with Hezbollah, those leaders have been there for a very long time. Hamas is kind of the same way. Their leaders have normally been there for a very long time. And when you take out that old guard, there isn't really an easily replaceable. You can bring in somebody and put them in the same place, but they don't bring in the same level of experience, skills, certainly training that one would expect of the old guard to have accrued over the many, many years. So that does have an effect. And when you're trying to get Hamas to change their tune, to give up the idea of thwarting the international plan to disarm them, to make sure that they don't have a governance role following the disarmament of their forces, things Hamas doesn't want to do, you look for that recalcitrant old guard and literally...
What we're looking at right here, by the way, this is the Gaza Strip border right here. There's a buffer in between basically Israel's side, and then there's this long buffer zone right here in between. Yeah, so this is like a big field that goes all the way out there, and then this is where the crossing is.
Take them off the map or off the chessboard, so to speak, which is what...
Oh, shit. Real quick, we got a Sterling Wheel dropping in like it's hot. My man gifting out a Mike Ball membership, man. I very much appreciate that, kind sir. Thank you for not only helping me, but helping someone in the Breakfast Club, man. I very much appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
What they're doing. And right now, Hamas is showing about zero inclination to disarm.
What's up, Gunpowder Nitro?
In the ceasefire talks, peace talks, they are resisting with everything they have this idea of disarming, and it's become quite a point of contention and quite difficult to figure out how that would actually be accomplished.
Live look at our camera overlooking a portion of the Gaza skyline. The time in Israel, by the way, just past 1 a.m. The ceasefire still stands right now, Hal, but is there reason?
Yes, the ceasefire. Now, that's going to be a question that I was waiting for them to bring up right there, but this is the perfect time to interject. Yes, even though that this, there was a ceasefire in place and people are going, well, are they in a ceasefire anymore? No, they're still in a ceasefire.
Concern that a strike like this could be the type of thing that eventually puts, and I don't know if you just saw what I saw.
Christopher Collins, good morning.
Looked like, you know what, and I want to make something clear to the audience. That was video that just played. That was a video playback. That was not a live image. Back to the live image now. Sometimes our viewers are used to seeing strikes in real time. Again, I need to be clear. That was not a strike in real time. That was some video playback. I got to ask you, though, Hal, this type of strike that the IDF carried out, is this the kind of thing that would bring some type of reasonable concern that a strike like this could be the type of operation that could break the ceasefire?
Well, they've been doing occasional strikes.
There is part to that. Yes, there is a part to that.
Going, not too long after the ceasefire was in there. And of course, the other side is that Hamas has done some things, which to include firing on Israeli troops, IDF troops, trying to infiltrate.
Now, so far, Hamas has made has denied any claim that they have given any orders to do that. Now, I am totally in the understanding that there's going to be a lot of people that are amongst the Palestinians that are going to be unhappy with what's happening, and they're going to be rogue agents. They're going to do things that they think is right or whatever the case is. And then unfortunately, there could be people that are acting on their own or on their own, meaning maybe a collective small group. And Hamas is like, well, we didn't tell them to fucking do that. But yeah, so anyways, that's what's happening.
Lines. They've been doing all of these things as well. So that, this is a response to what Hamas is doing. And when Israel sees them doing something that's a violation of what they agreed to, they usually strike. And so you're seeing a number of strikes, not the least of which was this drone strike that took out this moving vehicle.
What's up, Joseph? Up there in Canada, my man, he says, stop the cap, yo.
Stop the cap.
Great to see you up in the chat. Always appreciate it.
So that's going on. One of the things that's happening on the side is that the Israeli Defense Forces in Israel is clearly getting prepared for the idea that Hamas may not ever agree to disarm. And so what you're starting to see with not just Israel, but others working with Israel is building.
Hey, not very snowy. I appreciate the 100, whatever they call that on the vertical side. But it says for 100 for 2 joules. So I very much appreciate that. Thank you for making it rain in the chat. I just caught that. Sorry for that.
The rebuilding effort of Gaza is focused in the Israeli-controlled zone. And they're kind of opening this up, saying to the Palestinians, hey, we have no way of securely doing reconstruction in the Hamas-controlled area, which they're supposed to give up control of.
Actually, it's funny that you say that. Me personally, no, but I am involved in a couple of projects.
Therefore, we're going to build these things outside of the Hamas-controlled area, in the Israeli-controlled area. And this is kind of a carrot approach of getting the Palestinians to depopulate those areas controlled by Hamas, which makes it easier for the IDF to explore other options to do.
Well, this is a rough situation over there. I don't know how they can be. It's just a rough subject. I can just tell you that. Anyways, U.S. to begin new phase of actions against Venezuela. Now, we all know that the government here has been taking out these cigarette boats coming in and making huge fucking claims of like, these guys are coming in with like 50,000 pounds or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, that little cigarette boat can't hold that much, but what do I know? But anyways, we've been watching shit go down in Venezuela for, I don't know, 8-9 months now. No, it's not been that long. Maybe 6 months. I don't know. Nonetheless, we've been watching it go down. What's going to be new about this? What new phase to this is there going to be? I actually don't know.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox, where we want to talk about the latest tensions between the United States and Venezuela.
No, I did not see that. I don't talk to him, so and I don't necessarily follow him either. So yeah, interesting. Where's he going to?
Out to some of the footage that we continue to gather here regarding some of those strikes that the U.S. has conducted near Venezuela. And this comes after the Federal Aviation Administration on Friday warned all pilots to exercise caution when flying.
What's up, Crystal Kitten? Good morning.
The airspace over the South American country due to the worsening security situation and heightened military activity around there. Now, the warning comes as the Trump administration has ramped up pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro. The U.S. military has conducted bomber flights up to the coast.
Yep, me and Blair were talking about that. He's like, so you're going to have like me and Easy like show up in the halls, right? You know, like, and I'm like, absolutely. You guys do it up. Absolutely. Show up. Show up and show out. It'd be awesome.
To Venezuela, sometimes as part of a training exercise to simulate an attack, and sent the aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, to the region. The Ford aircraft carrier and several destroyers were just the latest addition to the largest U.S. force assembled in the Caribbean Sea near Venezuela in generations. The Trump administration does not see Maduro, who faces charges of narco-terrorism in the U.S., as the legitimate leader of the South American country. Joining us now to discuss this even further is Rick De La Torre. He is a retired CIA operations officer.
Wow. Ex-CIA operations officer? Damn.
Bruh. And CEO and founder of the Tower Strategy. Rick, good to see you.
Good morning.
All right, so let's get right into it. When we talk about some of these new actions that the U.S. is trying to take against Venezuela, there is some concerns that attacks within the country are going to be happening next. But Rick, is that a fair assessment? I mean, what do the conditions have to be like for that situation to come to fruition?
Well, the conditions for to actually carry out anything like that are already in place. The military buildup, largest we've seen since the Cold War.
So we have a huge amount of firepower down there right now that's ready to go.
And the Caribbean Basin is prepared to act.
What's up, Lee Lance? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. Great to see you in the chat, man.
With the full brunt of the U.S. military on specific Venezuelan targets. It's really
Why does this guy talk like that?
up to the president whether or not to do so, and it's at his choosing.
It's like he's really being lazy and like not like really stopping. It's like keeping everything in one breath and one. Yeah, you know, we just keep. I don't know. It's weird. You guys notice that, or is it just me?
Bringing us out here to this live image that we have at the White House over in Washington, D.C. As I had mentioned earlier, the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro.
That's so funny, bro.
He is facing charges of narco-terrorism in the U.S. So, Rick, how does that affect his decision-making going forward as this situation unfolds?
Well,
what's up, Wally? We got Wicked Wally up in the building. Shout out to my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning as well.
Just to add even more context, right? The foreign the designation of the Maduro leadership and the narco terrorists in Venezuela, designating them as foreign terrorist organizations, adds a whole other dimension.
We already know all this, though. What are you gonna tell me that I don't already know? Why is this being why is this a topic right now? All operations that led to the annihilation of the cartel de los Soles, I don't know how to say that properly, narco-terrorist enterprise in Venezuela will be welcomed by the American people. The Venezuelan people will be internally grateful. In Miami, there will be celebrations like no other. It's the right thing. That's coming from Carlos A. Giménez, I think, Giménez. Yeah, over there on X.
Operation.
I don't know what state he's for, though. I have no idea.
That led to the annihilation of the Cartel de los Soles narco-terrorist enterprise in Venezuela will be welcomed by the American people, and the Venezuelan people will be eternally grateful. In Miami, there will be celebrations like no other. It's the right thing, and that just continues to speak
must be Florida.
Just this effort by the U.S. to get rid of these organizations that they are tying to Venezuela. Going back to the Venezuela,
but that's it, though. I mean, we understand all of the strikes that have been happening here.
You know,
see,
narco.
We're already seen all these.
With Maduro as the head kingpin, to be some choices. Maybe one of them might turn them over to the U.S. authorities.
All right, so there's nothing new here. I don't know why they're reiterating. I guess that's what they're doing. But nonetheless, we got Roger saying still half asleep. Well, wake up, motherfucker. Shit. We got Chan with Stacks in the building. Shout out to my man. Good morning. Great to see you in the chat. And yes, Papa, I see your test. Check the other thumbnail. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, wait. No, I don't get it. Oh, okay. I got it now because of the vertical thing. All right. Report. UK woman paid Florida man to torture and kill her. Why would somebody from the UK hire a Florida man to torture and kill her? What? That's a very strange title. So here we go. Guess we're going to find out together.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. And we're turning our attention now to a bizarre story and investigation coming out of
It sounds bizarre, bro.
Marion County, Florida, and more particularly in Ocala, Florida. Take a look at this. A social media post by our partners at Fox 35 in Orlando. It says an Ocala man accused of killing a UK woman who was reported missing last month pleaded not guilty on Tuesday. But here is where this story gets a little strange. So according to records, the woman allegedly met the man on a website website where she was looking for someone to apparently torture and ultimately kill her. Authorities identified the woman as Sonia Exelby. Her body was found buried in a shallow grave at a home in Marion Oaks 1 week after she boarded a flight to Florida. Dwayne Hall, the suspect who you see pictured there, has been arrested, charged with kidnapping and first-degree murder in Exelby's death. Joining us now to discuss this even further as it heads to trial is a criminal defense attorney, John Day. John, good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Of course. Good morning to you as well. So as a criminal defense attorney, what goes through your mind when...
By the way, no kidding, Papa Penguin.
You hear, or let's say you get a client that brings this argument to you, that he actually did what the victim wanted in this case, which was ultimately kill her.
Yeah, that's very fucking strange. And he pled not guilty because he got consent.
Yeah, well, as you said, a bizarre and tragic and troubling story involving a young woman with some clear mental health issues and a history of that in England where she was treated for this, apparently. But in this kind of a case, you know, Florida does not have what's called an assisted suicide law, and this is the farthest thing from that. You know, this is simply alleged to be a murder with some kidnapping and possible sexual assault charges involved. And I mean, this is sort of the last case you'd ever really want to defend as a criminal defense lawyer. I'm a former prosecutor, and so of course your mind goes to how would this case be prosecuted first, and is there a defense? I mean, technically, yes, you can argue that the parties agree.
He just looks like that crazy motherfucking Florida man. You know what I mean? Like, you guys down there in Florida, you guys love being exactly what you guys are known for, man. You guys are loud and proud about it, man. So that's cool. I respect that. You know, I respect it. But y'all love being the fucking craziest, huh?
To this, and that there was some type of something in there that would reduce it from, you know, a planned murder to something else. But man, this is going to be one of the hardest cases you could have to defend. I mean, it's just so horrible. The facts are so horrible. Clearly, a young woman who's ill, who's mentally ill, finds a guy online who's willing to do these horrible things to her, and you know, he's facing the worst possible punishment in the state of Florida. So. Would not want to defend. The short answer is no. I would not want to defend this case.
No, it's not. It's doesn't matter if she gives you consent on killing her. That's not going to work in the court of law. That's the government's property. You know, that's the way they look at it. Like, we're charging you, not them suing you. We're charging you.
That's what I do for a living.
And when talking a little bit about this defense, what kind of evidence would have to be presented for this defense to even go through and for this person to get acquitted? Because it can't just be a he said, she said kind of thing. He's facing some very serious charges.
Yeah, there's a long and apparently very complete paper trail involving, and it's not literally paper, it's digital, but communications between them. There's some video that was recovered by law enforcement that he apparently tried to delete that shows her, it looks like in captivity with some bruising, a lot of bruising on her face and on her body. So there's a huge amount of evidence stacked up against this defendant that shows that even though a obviously mentally ill woman engaged with him and said, I want you to torture me and kill me because, and again, this is so sad. In her words, she said, I'm a bad person. I deserve this. I mean, you know, clearly.
Oh, wow. So this person that did this, the UK lady or whatever, obviously has some mental health issues. Now, I obviously don't know her case. I'm only taking it at face value from what this guy is saying, from what he's done of the research. But if everything he's saying is true, it sounds like she has a problem. That was unfortunate. That's an unfortunate event for sure. And someone took up the offer. There's always someone that's willing to do it. You know what I mean? Anyways, housing affordability, a hot button issue heading into next year. I think that we all know this, especially if you live around the coast, either side. But let's go ahead and get into this. See what they have to say about this.
National data from AP shows that the cost of buying or renting a home is still pushing past incomes in many parts of the country. As we head towards 2026, the question is...
This guy that's talking?
Why are you gay?
Just asking.
What can change these conditions? Well, I have the perfect person to talk about this today. Joining me now is Stacey Anna with HomeSmart. AP reports that affordability is still being stretched nationwide, and I appreciate you joining us today. What part of that trend is affecting buyers first, in your view?
You know, I think it's a combination. Home prices up until about mid this year had really been still on the rise. But as we've seen, they started to stabilize a little bit. And by stabilizing, what it's just starting to turn us towards is more of that normalized market when we end up where we have enough supply and demand that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think that you're ever going to get an interest rate that you guys used to get back in like 2007 and 2006 and shit? No way. Those interest rates are never coming back. First of all, on loans, it's going to always be high. Where it's at, the way I look at it is where it's normalized. Okay.
Buyers are not having to make that quick, uninformed decision. And so right now, with interest rates in,
People are like, oh, I'm waiting for the interest rate to drop before. I'm like, that's not happening. It's not going to happen. You're going to wait forever then.
about the mid sixes, and some areas of the country, the home price is starting to drop just a little bit. We are really looking to where it is still on the higher end, and it is still a little bit difficult for those buyers, but we are seeing a much more stabilized market that is coming back to that midline.
That's really good to hear because I may be in the market to buy a home shortly as well. And Reuters says that mortgage activity is improving slightly, but are you seeing any real movement on the ground there since you're doing this every day?
You know, we really are. And it's funny, I do always want to preface it with really.
And then another housing bubble happens, Papa.
It is local, right? And so some parts of the country, they drop faster, some parts rise faster, and some little pockets can even stay stable. But at the same time, what we're finding is amongst that, 300,000 to 500,000, home prices are still moving. The other interesting fact is your luxury.
Yeah, 300,000 to 500,000 houses are not really found on the coast. Everything is appraised at $1 million plus on the coast. You know what I mean? You could have a 3-bedroom house and that shit's worth $1 million. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy.
Market is still moving, but the middle of the road housing, you are starting to see some price drops. You're starting to see that normalization where they're just staying on the market just longer. And what that allows is it actually is an advantage for the buyers because when you have to buy it super quick, you end up in bidding wars. You end up making uninformed decisions. So right now, having a little more supply allows those buyers enough time to really look around, talk to their mortgage lender, make sure they're in the right affordability range, and then start to negotiate with the seller for some of those concessions that make the lending easier. They can still negotiate for rate buy downs, which is a huge impact on them right now.
I feel like that's really important for America to hear right now. It's still important to negotiate because sometimes you just feel a little pressured. You need a little time. So it's nice to actually talk with somebody about that. Also, supply remains tight. What factors are we seeing that's keeping inventory from reaching demand?
I think we're getting a little bit closer. New construction starts are still doing well in most parts of the country. In fact, it was interesting just this morning driving back home, I noticed how much new construction is out there and how much is still going on. So the more that continues, I think what you saw for a little while was a lot of sellers had interest rates in the low 3s. And so what it became hard for them to justify is, how do you justify selling when you know you're going to repurchase and now the interest rates are higher? And yet the mid 6s that we're seeing, that is historically still a very good interest rate. And so when we look at that, I get excited for the more normalized market because I think it's actually easier on both sellers and buyers. The pressure.
Well, of course, if banks can be somewhat stable on what they're lending, then that's ultimately good, right? But that's not going to be happening. I don't think there is the stabilization of anything. I think we're on this kind of path right now. I don't think anything is stabilizing. I think everything is doing one of these numbers, you know what I mean? Shit. Just saying. Anyways, Trump calls Ukraine ungrateful this morning, only 3 hours ago, amid these peace talks. Let's go ahead and bring this up and discuss this real quick. And here we go.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for waking up with us here at Live Now from Fox on this Monday, November 24th. My name is Karala Hara. I'll be with you throughout the next several hours as we continue to follow all of the breaking news developments from the last several days and overnight. Also going to be showcasing live events and live looks from around the world. We're going to start, though, with this live image of the White House over in Washington, D.C. as we continue to keep track of the peace talks that happened over the weekend between Ukrainian and U.S. officials. They did meet in Geneva. Now, both of those officials saying that they have made progress toward ending the Russia-Ukraine war, but provided scant details. After discussing the American proposal to achieve peace that has sparked concerns among many of Washington's European allies that the plan is too conciliatory to Moscow. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said
Of course they're going to say that. If Ukraine has to do any type of concession, of course our government's going to be all crooked about it.
High-stakes talks were, quote, very worthwhile.
What's up, Arm James?
And constituted the most productive day in a very long time. I want to also reference this, a social media post from President Trump. He posted this via Truth Social. He said, quote, is it really possible that big progress is being made in peace talks between Russia and Ukraine? Don't believe it until you see it, but something good just may be happening. God bless America. Joining us now to talk about this even further is Ivana Stradner with the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Ivana, good to see you.
So good to see you. Thank you.
So let's just start with that social media post by President Trump. Is
I want to hear this part.
it possible that progress was actually made? What do we know about the talks from the last couple of days?
So first thing, the 28-point talk that was leaked really showed a very, very negative pattern that was actually just giving Putin what he wanted to have. And that was a typical Russian intelligence dream come true, because they would use that to put a ball in Zelensky's court. Basically, these were all Russian talking points, whether it was the question related to seizing the territory, the question of not joining NATO, whether it was the question of more economic ties and lifting sanctions on Russia. This was really not a good agreement. Then, of course, Europeans decided to join the effort because they understand very well that this war will not.
Shit. What's up, Marilyn? Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning so far. I definitely know that we are over here. Great to see you in the chat.
Stop at Ukraine. And they decided to also draft a counter proposal and to offer a little bit different view, whether it was the question of sovereignty, whether it was the question of NATO, because a lot of people, a lot of leaders in Europe, especially, the closer you are to Russia, the better you understand why the war in Ukraine matters to Russia, the more they were risk tolerant. And that's precisely why I see some things moving in the right direction. Of course, Carol, this is too early to talk about whether this is going to result in peace, because we have to understand that Putin is not willing to negotiate in good faith. Let me put things in a context and to zoom out, because this is extremely important. Russian economy is not doing well, and by the end of 2026, actually, it's going to be
correct. Russian economy is not doing well, but Putin is doing just fine.
Really, really, really bad. And Putin will have to make very difficult choices. So that's precisely why it's extremely important to know that Putin needs to pause, and Putin needs so-called ceasefire more than the West. What he wants right now is to use that as a moment to pause, to replenish his military and to continue. So that's precisely why President Trump understands.
What's up, Mr. Mister? Good morning.
Why he also needs to get tough, on Putin. He already tried to give Putin what he wanted to have in terms of negotiations, et cetera, back for the past several months. And every time when we wanted to try to negotiate with Russia, Putin would always give us, to put in quotation mark, a gift by launching even more weapons. Well, with friends like Putin, we do not need enemies. And that's precisely why we have to understand that we should not fall for those tricks. I'm afraid that Mr. Witkov does not also understand one thing, which is that
Mr. Witkoff.
The whole concept about bringing Russia back to the Western economy is short-sighted. This is a typical Russian intelligence game, because they understand that we in the United States, we love to talk business. We love to talk about win-win strategy. And they understand that by bringing all those business narratives are going to resonate with the White House. That's a typical game, and we should absolutely not fall for this.
You mentioned something really important within that first answer, which is the initial draft of that 28-point peace plan. There was a lot of pushback, including from European allies, but also Congress members here in the U.S. Now, the White House has said that changes were made to the proposal, and they provide a, quote, credible and enforceable mechanisms to safeguard Ukraine's security in both the near and long term. What could those mechanisms possibly consist of?
Number one thing, we really have to think about security guarantees, and not some wishful thinking guarantees, like a feasible guarantees, because even if there are security guarantees, Putin is going to challenge us, and we have to bear that in mind and to follow through our threat. Number two.
Okay, but I want to hear the part where Trump actually comes out and says that Ukraine is ungrateful. Vladimir Putin, or Zelensky, I mean. Let's see what Zelensky had to say. I'm sure she's going to read it out loud.
Not going to read it in full. It's quite lengthy, but he starts off by saying, the Parliamentary Summit of the International Crimea Platform, I address the participants and urge them, do not stay silent, do not be passive observers of history, be participants. It is important to support Ukraine now, and I thank you for that support. Going off of that, President Trump also the weekend posting to social media is saying that European countries continue to buy oil from Russia. So what European countries are still buying this oil, and more importantly...
That's a good question. Which European countries are still doing this? Who's funding that fucking war?
What are they trying to do to make themselves energy independent so as to not fuel this war even further?
So let's go back first to the first social media post, which is erasing the history. One thing that Russia's ultimate goal is to subjugate Ukraine and to truly erase its history. But also, we should not allow that to happen because that's a long-term strategy that Russia has. And now I want to shift to what you just mentioned about European approach. Since 2022, the European countries, well, it depends which countries, but in particular, France and Germany have been more or less, reluctant to step up. Now the situation is a little bit different, but President Trump is absolutely right. It's still numerous European countries are actually buying Russian oil.
Which ones though?
And they have not imposed enough sanctions. And we still have to make sure that our European.
Well, yes, you're doing a politician's answer. Do you not know the exact ones? Is that why you're dodging it?
Allies deliver the weapons that Ukraine needs to put Russia on the defensive. So as some European leaders are blaming fully, the United States for not stepping up and helping enough, we also have to, if we are working.
Okay, name drop.
Together as allies, Europe also has to put its act together and to suffer some costs, especially when it comes to buying Russian weapons. So President Trump is absolutely right about that.
She didn't answer the question.
I also just wanted to put up another social media post from President Trump. He says the war between Russia and Ukraine is a violent and terrible one that with strong and proper U.S. and Ukrainian leadership would have never happened. It began long before I took office for a second term.
Which is true.
But again, this kind of continues to reference really European countries and what they need to do, because he goes on to say this, that Ukraine leadership has expressed zero gratitude for our efforts and Europe continues to buy oil from Russia. The USA continues to sell massive amounts of weapons to NATO for distribution. It does get cut off there. Ivana, I do just have one more final question for you. President Trump has set a Thursday deadline for Ukraine to respond to this peace plan proposal. He's also said that it could be extended if need be. How optimistic are we that we...
What's up, Agrillopis? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, my man.
...could have a finalized deal by Thursday?
I don't know if this is going to happen or not by Thursday, because there are still, I'm sure, a lot of points that has to be negotiated. This is a very serious thing, and we should not put pressure right now on Zelensky to sign something that is disadvantageous not only to Ukraine, but more importantly to the transatlantic unity, because a lot of those points that were listed in the first 28 points plan were not only dangerous for Ukraine, but more importantly, they were very, very, very precarious for Europe, but also for the United States.
All right, Ivana Stratner with the Foundation.
All right, so that is enough of that. We're going to move into the Slender Man. This guy was convicted in 2014, and he's been on the run for a long time. He's been on this, they've been on this manhunt for this guy. The Slender Man. I'm sure that you guys may have heard of him. I don't really remember the entire story, the whole story about this guy, but it does say stabber captured following manhunt. So let's go ahead and bring this up for you guys, and we'll go ahead and talk about it here for a short little minute. It's quick.
We have some breaking news from overnight. A woman accused and convicted in the Slender Man stabbing from back in 2014 has been captured.
And this came out this morning. So
after a nationwide manhunt, I do want to refer you to this, a social media post first from the New York Post, in which they say that Slenderman stabber Morgan Geyser captured following that nationwide manhunt. And there they do include some photos of Geyser. I also have some video from back when this suspect was first convicted.
Wow.
Reading here some of the reporting courtesy
That's
of our
a man?
partners at Fox 32 in Chicago.
That looks like a non-binary person.
It says this, a Wisconsin woman who admitted to nearly stabbing a classmate to death at age 12 to please the online horror character Slenderman has been found in Illinois after she cut off an electronic
I think it was a movie.
Monitoring device and left a group home. That's according to authorities. What we know is that Madison police issued that alert Sunday for Morgan Geyser, who is now 23 years old, saying she was last seen around 8 p.m.
They did say she. So it is a she. What up, Abe Dinkus? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. Definitely know that we are. Great to see you guys in the chat, man. And yeah, Rabbit of Chaos says she is a female. Yeah.
Saturday with an adult acquaintance. Going out to this, a social media post from Fox 6 News. So the department, they issued that update late Sunday that Geyser was taken into custody in Illinois. She was found at a truck stop in Posen, Illinois. The Posen Police Department confirmed early Monday. Posen is about 25 miles south of Chicago, and the community is about 170 miles south of Madison. Geyser was found with a 42-year-old man who was charged with criminal trespassing and obstructing identification. Posen police confirmed. He has since been released from custody. Geyser was placed in a group home this year after being granted conditional release from the Winnebago Mental Health Institute. She was sent to the Psychiatric Institute in 2018 after pleading guilty to attempted first-degree.
Prez, I think that she's been on the run since 2014.
Degree intentional homicide in a deal with prosecutors to avoid prison. That stabbing occurred back in 2014. Geyser's attorney, Tony Cotton, said Sunday that he did not know what happened with his client and urged Geyser to turn herself in. The Madison Police Department said Sunday that it was not made aware that Geyser was missing until nearly 12 hours after she left the group home. The State Department of Corrections received an alert Saturday night that Geyser's ankle monitor had been malfunctioned. The department contacted the group home where she lived about 2 hours later and was told she was not there and had removed the bracelet.
Of course, she cut that motherfucker right off.
Department of Corrections issued an apprehension request just after midnight. The police department said it did not learn Geyser was missing until someone from the group home called the next morning. The Corrections Department did not immediately respond to an email seeking comment. A little bit more of this backstory, though. Authorities say that Geyser and her friend, Anissa Wire, also 12 at the time when this occurred, lured their
they were 12. Papa was right.
Classmate Peyton Lautner to a suburban Milwaukee park after a sleepover. Geyser stabbed Lautner more than a dozen times while
over a dozen times. Literally what Papa said. Just wanted to poke a whole bunch of holes. Damn. That's brutal, bro. I gotta admit. Oh shit! Oh shit! You gotta be quite fucked up to do that as like that seems like they did it for, she did it for fun. You gotta be quite a bit fucked up to do that to somebody.
Fire egged her on. Lautner barely survived. The girls later told investigators that they attacked.
Wait, the person that got stabbed over a dozen times survived? Holy fuck, no way.
Lautner to earn the right to be Slender Man's servants, and they feared he'd harm their families if they didn't follow through. Slender Man was created online by Eric Knudsen in 2009 as a mysterious figure.
She did survive.
Photo edited into everyday images of children at play. He grew into a popular boogeyman, appearing in video games, online stories, and a 2018 movie.
There was, so that's the movie you guys are talking about.
Wire pleaded guilty to attempted second-degree intentional homicide, and she was also sent to the psychiatric center and granted release in 2021.
Wow, what? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are concluded for the morning. I don't give a fuck about that New York, the New Year's Eve ball that they got, the new drop ball they're ready or whatever for this year. That was the last thing we had on our list, just in case we didn't make it to an hour, which we did. So I'm going to find who's live right now. I'm going to go ahead and send you guys off to a raid. Let's go ahead and see who's live right now. We got Chatting with Stacks that's live. Let's go ahead and send you guys over to Chatting with Stacks. Give me a second here. I've got the second one that I've got to redirect to as well. And where'd he go? He was live. What the fuck? Oh, there he is. Okay, good. All right, we're going to send you guys over to Chatting with Stacks, man. I always very much appreciate every single one of you guys and your support. I can't do this shit without you guys, obviously. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. Marilyn, thank you for the $5 making it rain in here before we end it. I very much appreciate that. All right. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. Until then, God bless everyone. We'll see you guys very soon. Much love, honor, respect, everybody.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges.